last-minute shakeup at 5:30 a.m., laundry situation not good. And when your focus is on helping your clients, it's easy to forget about yourself. But NASM knows trainers.
Morning, Ryan. It's okay.
And staying in front of the day isn't always as simple as 1, 2, 3. So when the unexpected has you pressing pause,
What's the latest on creatine?
I'm going to get back to you on that.
let NASM1 help you press play. Visit NASM.org to sign up for a membership today.
You're listening to the NASM-CPT Podcast with Richey, winner of the Sharecare Emmy Award for Social Storytelling and the official podcast of the National Academy of Sports Medicine.
Hey, y'all, and welcome to the NASM-CPT Podcast. My name is Richey, and today I want to talk about something that was hot a few years ago, but doesn't get quite as much talk as it used to did. And it's about high-intensity workouts. And really, the high-intensity workouts for body composition change is what I'm looking into today. But I'll point out that the high-intensity workouts, though the research and people talking about them isn't or doesn't seem to be as much, at least from my perspective, doesn't mean that people aren't doing them and still implementing them. And for the training that I see, I'm still a little surprised that I see a lot of people lift and rest, lift and rest, lift and rest. And I don't see nearly as many people doing intervals in between or doing circuits, because I know a lot of people are coming to us as personal trainers for weight loss, and doing a one-arm bent over row is not the most significant way to do that. Now, doing some heavy lifting is great, and creating some body composition change, but also high intensity interval training. And I have my business partner at the gym. His name is Mark Miller, and he loves and loathes high intensity interval training, but that's what he does. It's his thing. And he's always trying to recruit someone to go with him. And sometimes that someone is me. Rick, what are you doing at 9 a.m.? I'm like, I got a client. Even sometimes when I don't, I do. I was like, I'm not doing it with you. He was like, come on, you want to ride a bike with me? Do you want to do the ski ergs with me? And I know what it means when he says, if I want to ride the bike or I want to do the ski erg with him, it's always the same thing. It is 30 seconds on, 30 seconds off, 1-to-1 work to rest ratio for a minimum of 10 rounds. And sometimes I'll concede. And he'll even say, he'll be like, you don't have to go hard. You don't have to work hard. It's just nice sometimes to have somebody there to ride with. And that gets me. Okay, I'll ride with you. And he sucks me in. And then, of course, I work my butt off to try to keep up with him. And there it is. I'm there, 30 seconds on, 30 seconds off, straight up donkey breathing. I'm on the struggle bus, and I can't get off this thing for another 8 minutes because it's only 10 minutes of work. It is not even 10 minutes of work. It's 5 minutes of work spread out over 10 minutes. So I do it. I'll agree. And I've started incorporating that more into my weekly workouts. But I figure I'd like to look into it and find out a little bit more about high intensity interval training, especially because Mark keeps sucking me in, doing this stupid workout all the time. All right, I'm in. But what's the benefit of it? Now, I'm looking primarily at weight loss for this topic. And it's not necessarily because that's what I'm trying to do. It's just it's the reason why it became so popular is because of the benefits that it seems to have. So let me go through some of the research, and we'll talk about the benefits of high intensity interval training versus, including, we'll look at the versus moderate intensity. So the first research right here is going to be the effects of high-intensity interval training versus moderate-intensity continuous training on body composition in overweight and obese adults, a systematic review and meta-analysis by Wegeme et al. And here's the thing. They took 1,300 plus articles And then they screened them and kind of broke it down into 13 articles where the study, on average, 10 weeks of 3 sessions a week of training. Now, there were both high intensity interval training and moderate intensity continuous training, and they did a great job, significant reductions in whole body fat mass and waist circumference. And those are kind of the major things that you'll look through. They'll do body composition and circumference measurements, and they're great. And there's no significant differences between the high intensity interval training, like I was talking about, maybe that 30 on, 30 off, versus the moderate intensity continuous. Let's go for a run for 30 minutes. And the body compositions were great for both of them. But they just say the benefits here is that high intensity took about 40% less time when it came to doing this. So when it comes to time constraints, I think that's good. I also tend to find a lot of time constraints when I'm doing resistance training and personal training sessions with people, because I'm not going to put them on a treadmill or a bike or anything else, a ski erg or a rower or jump rope, for 30 minutes. I'm not going to do it. But I might do 5 minutes, 30 on, 30 off at the beginning of a workout, another 5 minutes, 30 on, 30 off at the end of the workout, and incorporate high intensity interval training and get the same results of the moderate intensity continuous training with the benefits of body fat decrease. This is interesting that this particular study found that running did a good job, but cycling did not do as good of a job with fat loss. And yet the last one I look at, we'll talk about cycling, did a better job of fat loss and not as much the other modalities. So this is why we do multiple studies and multiple meta-analysis, because we want to identify what is going on. And then if there are any things that don't quite make sense, we can go to other meta-analysis and pull additional data so that we're like, okay, there might be some kind of flaw in the system here. But the short-term moderate intensity and high intensity exercises induced most body composition improvements in overweight and obese individuals without accompanying body weight changes. So body composition changed a lot in both categories without weight changing very much. So this is a lot of times people are really, really focused on weight loss. And if all you're doing is scale weight, then I would encourage you to get some bioelectrical impedance, which is not the best form of, well, I mean, compared to a gold standard of body composition, but also the tape measure and doing waist circumferences and circumference measurements, waist and other, is a great way to do it. So if all you're doing is not seeing the scale change, but we've got research here that shows that the scale didn't change, but there was an incredible improvement in overweight and obese clients without weight changes when it came to their body composition. And both the HIIT and the moderate intensity continuous training showed similar effectiveness across all body composition measurements, suggesting that HIIT is great for time effectiveness, but so is moderate intensity cardio. The next one is the effect of high intensity interval training versus moderate intensity continuous training for fat loss and cardiorespiratory fitness in the young and middle age. The systematic review and meta-analysis by Gao et al. And their goal here, what they found out is after looking through 1,738 studies, they were able to get down to 29 studies to put into the meta-analysis. And they're going to look at it when it comes to body mass index and your body mass in general, which is weight, your weight, waist circumference, percentage of fat mass and fat-free mass. And here is what they found. They found, and they also look at cardiorespiratory fitness, the effect of high-intensity interval training on fat loss and on cardiorespiratory fitness in young and middle age is similar to that or better than moderate intensity continuous exercise, which might be influenced by age. So the age range is 18 to 45 years. Complications like obesity, duration, frequency, and high intensity interval training. Despite the clinical significance of the improvements behind being limited, high intensity appeared to be more time saving and, this one's interesting, more enjoyable than moderate intensity continuous training. Now, I know some people are thinking, that does not sound enjoyable at all. You just told this story about riding a bike off and on and doing that for 10 minutes, 30 on, 30 off, and how you don't look forward to it. Y'all, I work so hard, but when I am done, I am so proud. The way I feel when I'm done and high as a kite, I feel that runner's high that people talk about. When I go high intensity, and I only did it for 10 minutes, 5 minutes total of work, and when I was done, I felt like I was floating. I felt like I was on cloud nine. So, is it a challenge? Yes. Is it daunting? It can be. Is it more enjoyable? Yeah, I definitely can see where they're coming from. And this is not the only research study that I've come across that talks about the preference, no matter it being more challenging, the preference is that they found it more enjoyable than moderate intensity, kind of long, slow duration cardio. All right. This episode of the NASM-CPT Podcast is brought to you by NASM One, the membership for trainers and coaches. Members enjoy unlimited access to hundreds of career resources. Get the Edge app to schedule and program clients. Enjoy half off all certifications and specializations, access free CEUs, and more. All of this for just $35 a month. Go to nasm.org/membership to learn more about NASM One. All right. In the Sports Medicine Review, the effects of high-intensity interval training and total abdominal and visceral fat mass, a meta-analysis by Mallard et al., says this. Here's what they did. They high-intensity interval training, and they promoted this as a time-efficient strategy to improve body composition. So they did this meta-analysis, and they want to see the efficacy of HIIT training in reducing total abdominal and visceral fat mass in normal weight and overweight and obese adults. And here's what they found. High intensity is it's true, a time-efficient strategy. To do what? To decrease fat mass deposits, including those of abdominal and visceral fat mass. There was some evidence of the greater effectiveness of high-intensity interval training running versus cycling. But owing to the wide variety of protocols used and the lack of full details about the cycling training, further comparisons need to be made. And they had large multi-center prospective studies, which will need to be established to get the best HIIT protocols for reducing fat mass according to the subject characteristics while looking here at abdominal mass. And then our last one, the effect of high-intensity interval training on body composition in women before and after menopause, because we've gone through several different categories. And I will say that one of the bigger questions I get is about menopause. And so I found this one. I thought it was good. This is by Dupit et al. This was done in 2020. And it's a meta-analysis of high-intensity interval training in reducing weight and total fat mass and intra-abdominal fat mass in normal weight and overweight obese women before and after menopause. And it's set to highlight this high-intensity interval program for women. So here's the takeaway from it. They said this, and I'm going to give you a quote. Our meta-analysis shows that overall HIIT programs significantly decrease weight, total and abdominal fat mass in women. Both normal weight and overweight and obese women lost total fat mass after high-intensity interval training protocols, whereas HIIT was only effective in decreasing abdominal fat mass in women with excess adiposity. When pre- and postmenopausal women were considered separately, the effect of HIIT on weight and total abdominal fat mass were only significant before menopause. Cycling HIIT seemed to be more effective than running. Isn't that weird? Because we did two studies where they showed running was more effective than cycling. And now this one is showing cycling seems to be more effective than running, especially in postmenopausal women, and training interventions longer than 8 weeks, comprising of 3 sessions a week, were most efficient. HIIT is a successful strategy to lose weight and fat mass in normal weight and overweight obese women. However, further studies are still needed to draw meaningful conclusions about the real effectiveness of HIIT protocols in postmenopausal women. All right, y'all, these are the studies. This is the research study that's out there. This is what we're trying to figure out, and also giving you a better understanding of what it is that happens, what works and what doesn't work. That's what I want the NASM-CPT podcast to be about. And so I hope that you find it helpful. Y'all, I appreciate you. Like, subscribe, share with your fitness friends and family. Leave a review if you haven't left a review on whatever platform you go through. Please give us a 5-star review, leave a comment. All of that stuff is incredibly helpful in letting other people, particularly other fitness professionals, find this podcast so that they can implement the things that we talk about with their clients and make greater change as we continue. If you want to reach out to me, you can hit me up on Instagram at dr.rickrichey. And then you can email me at rick.richey@nasm.org. All right, y'all. Y'all keep inspiring people to fitness. Thanks for listening. This has been the NASM CPT Podcast.